So this is Tuesday Therapy Tips. So I want to talk about dating tips for 2024. This will help you set boundaries moving forward. These are some of the things that I think we need to look for that we don't often focus on because we're so excited about the new prospect that we forget that we need to be taking things very slowly in the beginning because it takes a long time to really get to know a person. So these are 10 tips that I have come up with that I think you should follow or at least consider when dating. So number one, take your time in getting to know someone new. And what you want to look for is, are they rushing intimacy or commitment? Intimacy isn't always just about sex, it's about just being in your personal space all the time, wanting to come to your house early on, inviting you to their house early on, just not really focusing on the dating aspect, but the intimacy part, getting closely involved in your personal space. Number two, if it doesn't sound or feel right, it's probably not, and you should immediately investigate or leave. So oftentimes we will ignore red flags in the beginning. We will hear things, we will see things that we don't question. We just kind of let it go. And later on, we realized that, oh my goodness, they were telling on themselves, or I felt weird about that. I should have investigated it. I should have looked more into it because generally, a lot of people have a hard time hiding things for a long time. So you will more than likely later figure out what that thing that did not sound or feel right was once you invest more time and later investigate. But what I am suggesting is that once you see or hear something that does not sound right, you need to immediately investigate it or take that as a sign that that's not the person for you and to leave before you get too invested in the relationship. So, yes, if it doesn't sound or feel right, it's probably not. Number three, don't believe everything someone tells you in the getting to know you stage. Verify everything. So, everything needs to be verified in the beginning. We do not take people's words anymore. That can be very dangerous in 2024. And with all the technology and websites that we have to verify information, which one of them is called Been Verified. So they are suggesting that you verify everything. So if they say they are divorced, you want to verify that. You don't want to just take their word. You want to see how many divorces they have. If they say that they don't have a criminal record, you want to verify that. You want to go to your state website or whatever state that person lives in and verify and look up their name with their date of birth in the state case search website and verify whether that person has more than traffic tickets. So everything that someone tells you, you need to take the extra steps to verify it. We do not go off of people's words today because it is too easy for us to have the information that we need to make educated decisions. Number four, if it looks too good to be true, it probably is. So yeah, a lot of us, we will see someone, meet someone and think, oh my God, this is such a godsend. How are you single? Where did you come from? So sometimes when it looks too good to be true, it's because the person is either love bombing you or they're not being honest about their whole past. And so you definitely don't want to deal with or get into a relationship with someone who is just looks too squeaky clean because as humans, we all have stuff with us. And if someone is trying to make it seem like, oh no, I don't have any problems. All of my exes and children's mothers love me and my family is great. If they don't have one blemish to speak of, that is a red flag. Number five, learn what your intuition sounds and feels like and trust it. So, oftentimes, especially with women, now this message is for men too, because men have some type of intuition that they tap into, but it is undisputed that women have an intuition. And oftentimes we will second guess it. So, if your intuition is putting up spidey senses, if you feel nervous and anxious around this person, if you just have like weird vibes, you definitely have to learn what your intuition sounds like and trust it. And if you don't know what it sounds like, then I would encourage you to try to get in touch with that through journaling and just through self reflection. Like, what are some times that my intuition told me to do something or not do something, and I was correct? So, use history to validate your experience so that you can get clear about what it sounds like. Because oftentimes, our intuition has told us about people that we have dated in the past, and we ignored it for one reason or the other. So, don't feel like you need evidence to validate every suspicion that you have. Oftentimes, we don't have the evidence up front. You may later find out what it is, but at least save yourself the trouble with listening to it rather than feeling like you need evidence to validate it. Number six, you want to avoid discussing finances too soon. Especially if you are a successful individual and someone's trying to ask you like what you make. They're just trying to get into just your finances, your home, where you live, how much you pay for this, how much you pay for that. And also just wanting to try to like join finances too soon. That is a huge red flag. To discuss your finances when you're first meeting someone. The only person you really should probably be discussing your finances with is with a financial advisor, especially in the beginning stages of dating. So that's not somebody that you want to talk about your finances because there are a lot of people who are preying on successful individuals to benefit from them. So you don't want to let people know what you have. You don't want to even invite them to your home if you have a nice home because they will get inside and start making all types of judgments based on that. So you want the person to really get to know you and not so much what you possess. And too soon would definitely be within the first year of your relationship. You should not be discussing your finances. Number seven really should be number one. Do a background check ASAP. All you need is their name and their date of birth. You want to do a background check. Again, we do not take people's words for anything. today. In 2024, we have too many resources available to us to get the information that we need. So definitely do a background check so you can find out about any history of domestic violence, any history of violence, period, any jail time, anything that would help you make a better decision. You need to do that background check ASAP, and not just going on the court website for your state, but also investing that money for like Ben Verified or any type of background website. Invest that money up front, because that will save you a whole world of hurt in the future. If you know these things in the beginning and it doesn't come out later on, after you have invested yourself mentally, physically, and emotionally in a relationship, I would rather you have that information up front so that you can make an educated decision without your emotions being involved. All right, number 8, you want to request STD testing before sleeping with them. And you also want to make it a rule or a boundary in the beginning. Let them know that I require STD testing. Before we sleep together, we can either go together or we can share our results. You also want to let them know that you want periodic testing throughout the length of the relationship. So just put that out there and see how they respond. If you get pushback, then that person more than likely has something to hide. So you definitely want to put that out there. And we're talking about setting boundaries. Like, all of these tips are ways that you can set boundaries up front with individuals and let them know what your expectations are. Because not only do we have access to technology to help us, gain information, these people have access to technology as well. Recent results, and they're not copy and paste. So that's why you have to verify this, because people can go on the internet and look up fictitious results. So you definitely want to verify that these are actual results that they have gotten from their doctor recently. So, and also don't forget, let them know that you want periodic testing throughout the relationship and see how they respond. And if your intuition is telling you that they have something to hide, do not ignore your intuition and try to get facts to verify that they're telling the truth or not, especially when your health is at stake. Okay, I'm starting to melt off the screen, but I'm still here. Number 9, don't be so quick to introduce them to your family and friends, especially if they are not introducing you to theirs. So that's something you want to watch out for. I find that some people who love bomb you and they move really fast in the relationship, they want to integrate themselves into your social and support circles. So definitely make sure you fill them out first, and not be so quick to try to have other people fill them out, because guess what? You are the one who's going to be in a relationship with the person. So the other people, although they may know you and they may mean well, I want you to take time to kind of figure that person out first to see whether they're even worthy to meet your family members. And you also want to see what their relationship is with their own family members. So a lot of abusers don't have good, close relationships with their family members. And so if they don't have anybody that they want to introduce you to, that should be a yellow flag. You want to investigate that. Why are you not close with your family members? Why are you trying to get close to mine? Why aren't you working on those relationships in your family rather than trying to forge relationships with my family? So be very careful about introducing people to your family members early on. And what is early on? I would say within the first 3 months. I want to say at least the first 3 to 6 months, you should be dating that person and feeling your own self about how you feel about the person rather than bringing other people. Now, of course, you can talk to your family and you can get their opinions just basically by just giving them the insight about what's going on with you. But as far as them meeting that person and that person having connections to your family and friends, I would say wait at least the first 3 to 6 months before you introduce anyone to your family. Okay, and last but not least, you want to remain in control of your finances and your bills. And there's a saying that if you give someone the power to feed you, you give them the power to starve you. So you definitely want to remain in control of your finances. Whatever you've been doing before you met that person, continue to do those things, because what toxic and narcissistic people will do is they will try to make you dependent on them. And the reason why they try to make you dependent on them is because they want to create a level of instability in your life. So once you give them power to pay certain bills, and again, this ties into not discussing your finances too soon, because if they know that you need help, they are going to use that to try to manipulate the situation. It takes time. And that's why I'm saying take your time, do your due diligence, and do not allow people to know too much about you, your family, or anything, your finances, or anything that's going on with you. I would say the first 3 to 6 months is the exploration phase where you are trying to learn and know as much as you can about this person before you give yourself in your mind, your body, and your soul to a person, because that's what soul ties are about. You are tying your soul to another person. So you actually essentially do give over a part of yourself to that person. And before you do that, I would say follow these 10 steps and see how far people get. More than likely, people aren't going to make it very far. So this is your weeding out process. This is your setting boundaries and see how people respond to them. I would like to know in the comments below, like, what is it that you have done in the past that worked for you? What are some of the things that you haven't done that you wish you would have done? So let's keep the conversation going. But yeah, if you like this content, please like, subscribe, share with anybody that you think would benefit from it. And I'll see you next Tuesday with some more therapy tips. Bye.